What is going on, everybody? How are you all? I know it's been a couple of weeks since we last talked to each other, so appreciate you showing up this week. Last week was just tiring, I think. I think that's why I didn't stream. I think my daughter had me up all hours of the night, and I just I wasn't feeling it. But I did give you my Twitter predictions that were correct. I told you that the Nuggets were going to close out the Heat in 5 games. Isn't that what they call a gentleman's sweep when like you give them one win and then you win for it? Well, I don't forget. But anyway, I told you it was going to happen. I told you the Heat were going to steal one on the road, which they did. I made a little snarky joke on Twitter. The Heat fans got all upset. That seems to be a pattern with me lately. So now I'm just enjoying getting under Heat fans' skin. Even though the Heat fans, they do deserve, they should be proud of their team. An 8 seed getting to the finals. That's not a very common occurrence, but listen, you beat the Celtics. I'm going to have to vote for your demise. That's just how the world works. But anyhow, what's been happening over the last couple of weeks? Actually, before we begin, if you haven't yet entered, there's an infinite objects giveaway on my Twitter account. So if you're interested in getting your hands on a $150 credit to Infinite Objects to go buy an Infinite Objects display, then go to Twitter, find me on Twitter, and go enter that, because I think we're going to pull the name after this stream is finished. So go ahead and do that. But anyhow, yeah, interesting times. We saw the LeBron block, right? That kind of took me as a surprise. I don't know if you guys knew that was coming. And our guest today had a lot to say about that LeBron block. He's someone who wants to rise up on those leaderboards, and that was a difficult thing to rise up on those leaderboards. Only 23 people getting one of those things. So we see Shane's in the chat. What's going on, Shane? Budavane is here. He says, watching on my mobile because the weather is nice. There you go, Budavane. That's smart. Running home now. No, man, enjoy being outside, Budavane. Get the headphones in. You can listen live. Or better yet, of course, I want you here live, but better yet, go enjoy your day. Catch up on this later. You know what I'm saying? Jump Shoot is waiting for a community checkout. Hopefully that doesn't happen for a long time, Jump Shoot. And John wants the Tandy and First Mint collab, don't we all? And that's true. The Pack Trip is mentioning that if you're in the 9 Lives Lounge, you got an email today. They released some merch where you can get yourselves a $100 hoodie, but you get a $100 coupon for being in the 9 Lives Lounge. So if you want a dad hat, as they say, or a soft t-shirt, it's all there. It's all there for you. Wilder wants a Tandy autograph print. I can do that for you, Wilder. And Poker Pro Eric is here, and Jump Shoot says win Kobe. But let's invite our guest to the show here. What should we give him? Should we give him? I think I like giving him Ron Burgundy. Where is he? We'll give him Ron Burgundy as soon as I can find him. It's taking so long. I should really one day. I swear I'm going to organize these by alphabetical order, but I cannot find that damn drop. I'm going to find it, guys, or I won't. We're just going to stand here and wait. Okay, I found it. All right. So let's introduce my guest, Jay Metz. We're going to give him the Ron Burgundy treatment. Here we go.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
If only. If only.
What does your apartment smell like, Jay?
It depends. We're a big candle household. So
whatever
the candle of the day is. I don't know. She buys all the candles. She lights all the candles. I just enjoy the smell.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is she getting like the candle? I once read something. I don't want to ruin your candle high right now, but I read something that like you got to go for those candles that they almost like a special kind of candle where I think it's like if you do the typical candles where it's like the normal wax, there's like lots of weird chemicals and oils and stuff. You got to go for like the good shit. You got to go for like the beeswax.
Yeah, I don't know much about candles. I'll be honest with you. One of her cousins makes candles in California, and she's like super vegan, super like environmentally conscious. So I assume that whatever she makes is the good shit. But I don't know, and I also don't care. I also wear cologne that probably poisons me, and deodorant that probably poisons me, and I eat shit out of boxes that probably poisons me, and I go out there and I breathe whatever the fuck is in the air. So
They still got that orange air in New Jersey. No, you're not in New Jersey.
I don't live in Jersey anymore. No, I left like 10 years ago. So I don't think so. But I guess I really don't know. I haven't asked anybody over the last week or so. It was crazy, right? You saw those pictures?
Looked like the end of the world.
It did. But no, the world is still here. Top Shot is still here. And we're still here. So everything's all right.
So where do you want to begin, Jay? I know that you have a lot of feelings about, first of all, was it just me that didn't know that the LeBron block was coming to the platform? Was that just me that was kind of surprised by that, or were you also?
No, I mean, I guess I don't pay as much attention as some, but I didn't know. I don't think we heard any rumblings. I know when they did the record breaker, they said it was part of an anthology, which by definition, and it implied that there were more coming. We didn't know when they were coming. We didn't know what was coming. I thought it was strange to immediately there you go. I thought it was strange to immediately go from like an out of 99 legendary for his record breaker, which was super hyped, super promoted. There was like a lot of chatter, a lot of anticipation around it for weeks, if not months, in the Top Shot Twitter streets, right? Everybody was talking about like, how is Top Shot going to commemorate this? How's it going to be rewarded yet? NBL and others out there vocally criticizing everything that they were doing, what was wrong about how they chose, recipients. To go from that, which was like very highly promoted, out of 99, weird distribution strategy, $9 loot packs that anybody off the street could buy and then flip for a profit, to now a completely different approach, much scarcer moment. I don't know. I think the bottom line is they're just still at a point where they're testing. Everything they do seems like a test. I don't think they feel like they've nailed anything about what works within this platform and product. They keep, changing around distribution. They keep even today's announcement of the finals pack. The last several drops, if you had a certain TSS score, you got a rebate on the pack, which incentivized people to purchase. Now there's only a few that are going to be available for purchase, and they've completely eliminated the rebate, except for those who reserved packs based on having legendary sets already locked. So long story short, I think they continue to test and iterate and try shit. They haven't found the magic formula. Users continue to dwindle. The big unlock is coming. Whales are very publicly trying to liquidate everything they have in their collection before the unlock happens. Who knows? It's an interesting platform, interesting product, interesting times. Lots of unknowns.
Yeah. Well, we see some people are in the chat. We got Ace, we got Joseph, we got Tandy NFT, Shane's here, Steve Veerman's here. He's asking, do we really need 3 anthology sets in Series 4? Magic, LeBron, now KD. Do you think that we should have less anthology sets at a time, Jay?
Is that Steve Veerman?
Yeah, that's Steve Veerman. That's his channel, Steve's channel.
That's super cool. I think, listen, if I'm Steve, the more anthology sets, the better. I'm almost guaranteed to get at least one from each set airdrop to me. Um, but no, I don't. Who cares? Like, if you like it, then collect it. If you don't, then don't collect it. I mean, at this point, like it's a broken record. They're going to keep making more stuff, right? Like they're going to keep rolling out product. They're going to keep tapping into these relationships with iconic players and building sets around them. They're not going to stop making stuff. So the whole notion of like speculating and buying things because it's going to be the only one of its kind or there's not more like it coming, that ship has sailed. They're going to keep making stuff, and if it's not for you, don't buy it. And if it dilutes the value of what you have, so be it. We've had 2.5 years of every time something new comes out, it dilutes the value of what you have. So it's just going to continue to go that way, and hopefully people like this stuff and they buy it because they want to own it, and whatever happens happens.
So one thing that happened when the LeBron block was announced, right? So a lot of people obviously got very excited.
Yeah.
There was some intense competition near the end, I'd say, of all
Kinda.
those. Like it was intense among a couple of people. Obviously,
Right.
it wasn't among a lot of people, but
Yeah.
that's kind of the nature of the beast. If you're only going to have 23 of these things, there's not
Doesn't
going
have to
to.
be.
You don't think so?
Well, I loved part of it. I love the burn leaderboards, by the way. For years, people like me have been talking about doing some sort of a buyback program. People who got burned, give those people an opportunity to sell back the shit that they bought at ridiculous premiums because of whatever the reason was, and get something of value in return, whether it's non-refundable Dapper, or in this case, you can essentially trade back in stuff that you bought at very high values, get rid of it, burn it, erase it from the platform, and get something of contemporary value in return. I love that idea. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think they're going to continue to iterate with how these burn programs work, the leaderboards and whatnot. What I didn't like about this particular leaderboard is if you burned, but you weren't one of the top 10 finishers, or I guess the top 23 on that particular leaderboard, with the non-top 10 getting a legendary pack in return, you lost what you burned, like lost it with nothing in return. I think that's kind of gimmicky, and I don't think everything has to be this competitive game where it's like you have to burn more than the next guy, or else you're going to lose everything that you've decided to trade in. I think the one thing that they could have done differently, just one thing, it would have made it exponentially better, was if you didn't finish in the top 10, or sure, the top 23, if that's how they wanted to do it, you got your shit back. You didn't have to burn anything. It was just on reserve, and no harm, no foul. What would have happened in that instant? Well, more people would have participated, right? Dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of people would have participated. Maybe some people would have thought they had a chance in hell if they burned enough stuff to win the prize. And maybe some would have been like, I know I can't win, but I'm just going to give it a shot anyway, just in case I'm wrong. But at least they would have been involved. They would have been engaged. They would have cared about this moment in time and this moment on the platform. And then what would have happened is the top 10 still would have won the grand prize. The next 13 would have won their legendary pack. Maybe there would have been more competition. Maybe those top 23 would have had to burn more, because the risk wouldn't have been for everybody else. If you burn your stuff, you're going to completely lose it. It defeats the purpose. The whole point of these burn back programs is to kind of sort of make people whole. People who are actually still on the platform, still wanting to collect. The point of why they're burning in the first place is they've already lost money on this shit that they're looking to burn to kind of trade up for. Why make it even worse for them and have them burn their shit and get nothing in it? Like, I don't get that part. And I think that was a huge fail. Maybe they don't have the tech to kind of allow people to put a hold on their moments that in theory would be burned if they got one of those top 23 spots. But I would hope in the future that's one of the things that they can iterate on. I don't think people should lose, like literally lose and walk away with nothing. There were a few people, because inevitably there's going to be, that burned a lot of stuff and got nothing back in return. And like, to what end? To what end? Like the system that they tried only got about 30 people total on the whole platform to partake. Even if there's only going to be 23 winners, you still want more than 30 people to participate, I would think.
Yeah, I think that they could have done something with like how they did the rookies, the rookie revelations, where you had a really big catch-all where, like, worst case scenario, you got a couple of packs, like, but very unlikely that you were going to have these massive, massive swings, even though I know some people probably did on that rookie one who fell right outside the threshold. I think
but it's
that
one thing to lose the grand prize, and it's another thing to lose everything that you've just put in. It's like a reverse auction, right? I think they call it like a Dutch auction or whatever.
Right, where
like
you
if
put
I'm
your bid
bidding, you're bidding on something. The whole idea of inviting more people to bid is inevitably you'll get higher bid amounts, right? The more competition, the higher the number will go, the more shit in theory will get burned. But in any other aspect of the world, when you bid on something, if you don't win, you don't lose the amount that you bid. Like, it's stupid.
Right.
It makes no sense to me.
So on the one hand, I do agree that like they should figure out a little bit of something in between, some kind of a compromise there. On the other hand, I do think that there's an element to this whole platform, honestly, that is kind of like gambling, right? Like the pack rip is a gamble. Speculating on moments is a gamble. So I think there does kind of have to be an element of you put your money out or your moments out, you might lose, you might get less back, you might walk away feeling like, kicking dirt. That's kind of part of what happens when you gamble. But I do agree with you that there can be something in between.
But it doesn't have to be a gambling platform. That's the thing. There can certainly be elements of gambling. Listen, I love to gamble. I'm sure a lot of the dwindling number of users that are still on the platform also enjoy gambling. But there's already enough gambling on the platform, to your point. At some point, some things have to be geared towards collecting. The idea of collecting is you invest in stuff, and then you can kind of trade in, trade out, trade up if you'd like. Make this an opportunity to trade in or trade up, not gamble. And if you happen to not finish in the right spot, will lose everything. Like this is not a moment in time for Top Shot to have actual hardcore collectors walking away from any experience having lost everything that they just put into it. Like, now is not the time. We don't have enough users for that.
I think you're right in terms of the people who are burning just unfathomable amounts of Top Shot score to get a shot at these things and then walking away losers. Those are some of your truly very small percentage of these very devoted, very hardcore users. So yes, I would agree there. You don't want them.
And Tandy, I think the most important part of it isn't just that people ended up losing, which some did, but most people didn't bother participating, right? If people are not going to participate in things, then it kind of defeats the purpose of doing said things in the first place. You want people to lean in, you want people to engage. To your point, most people didn't even know that this block moment was coming to the platform because of the way it was rolled out and the messaging around the distribution. It didn't feel like it appealed to anybody. It didn't apply to most collectors. Now, granted, at the end of the day, only 23 people are going to end up with it. It's super scarce. It's by design, as it should be. And it should be really hard to get it. But if at least people felt like they could participate in the experience as opposed to just watching it, and let's face it, most people didn't even know it was happening, so they didn't even watch it happening, you lose the luster of leveraging it as a promotional vehicle. All of these big moments, these tentpole moments that Top Shot brings into the ecosystem should be leveraged as promotional moments where people can lean in and feel like there's something exciting happening. To watch 30 people participate in something where 23 of them were going to guaranteed, win something, I don't know. I don't think anybody really had fun with it. And if it's not fun, if it's not exciting, if it's not drawing attention, if people aren't chattering about it and talking about it and awaiting it with anticipation, then you're missing half the point of doing these things in the first place. It's about creating a moment in time.
Would you argue that then the Rookie Revelations one, which, like I said, had way more levels that you could win at, would you argue that was more successful, that was more enjoyable?
100%. Yeah, it had way more participation. People were talking about it. Even the other finals leaderboards were exponentially better. This was just a miss for them, And I think it should be said, it's one miss, but all of the other burn leaderboards so far have been pretty positive. I think they've gotten lots of participation. People burned a lot of stuff, mostly stuff that they overspent on, and they got something of present day value back in return. So I know everybody out there is like, oh, he's such a hater, FUD, whatever these people say. They're doing good, right? Like a lot of the activity and successes around these leaderboards, I think, has largely been positive. This one, to me, was a massive miss. It could have been executed much better. I've had some personal conversations with folks over there. I think there's some level of agreement, and hopefully they can iterate and optimize moving forward.
Okay, we'll see what can be done moving forward. I do think that in the grand scheme of things, the other point too is you had people that, like you said, burning so much Top Shot score, so many very high value moments. I think that's the right direction. And like you said, you're enjoying these burn boards, and I think it's for that exact reason. It's like if obviously we don't want people walking away feeling like they got screwed over, but
Yeah.
to have like millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of moments just burned off the platform, it's kind of getting us to where we need to go. Like we need that to happen across all that S2, S3 stuff. Like we need burning all across the board to get to a healthier balance of like marketplace.
Especially if it's a mechanism for new pack distribution, which means less money coming out of collectors' pockets, which means less liquidity coming out of the overall health of the marketplace, right? If these are going to be the mechanisms that allow for new packs to be distributed and new moments to be in circulation that people can then buy on the secondary market without having to pay for it to Dapper, that puts more money into the ecosystem, which I think is healthy for the platform.
Yeah, but I think what we're alluding to is we are still in beta. So here we go.
Beta.
All right. Well, we can we'll see what they do. Obviously, we see they're tinkering around. They're in beta where they're changing it up to trying different things. Some may be seen as grand successes and others not so much. But today they announced, like you said, the finals legendary pack. It's a $500 price tag. It comes with one legendary, one MGLE, I believe, and then the flotsam. What do you think about that pack? Obviously now there's no rebate, which on the one hand, it's again one of these things where I can understand both sides of the argument. It's like on one hand, it's almost a good thing because it means those values are going to be near the pack price most likely. On the other hand, it's not such a good thing because you're not rewarding your people who are holding on to all this TSS, which is kind of supposed to be the whole point of TSS.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I think for a drop like this, you should probably be a Nuggets fan or maybe a Heat fan or just, I guess, rich and somebody who wants to buy everything. The other point is the vast majority of the packs are going to be distributed through the leaderboard, which is the first time that's going to be the case for a pack of this price point, which means people may well flip and dump for low prices anyway, right? Because people burn stuff, which cost them something at some point in time. But that was like a week or two ago, which in internet times and in NFT times is like 10 years ago. And people don't even have that attachment to the monetary value of what they burned anymore. So who knows? I could very easily see people ripping these packs and undercutting each other to get a few $100s for these moments. I'm fine with it. I think what happened for the last couple of pack drops that did have rebates is everything ultimately went down to the price of the pack with the rebate. So if you ended up buying those packs for $500 and you spent $350 with the rebate, or other people spent $350 with the rebate, they're looking to flip stuff just to get their money back. And then it turns out that most people who bought them lost money. Listen, the bottom line is there's still so few people buying moments on Top Shot. There's just not a large enough user base to support kind of the financial aspect of the product. So like people have been saying for a while now, I think at this point, the only people that really should be buying this stuff are people who like it, people who see value in the longevity of the platform, people who enjoy owning these things. But the idea of flipping things for profit or short-term gain, we don't really have it. We haven't really seen it. So unless there's going to be manipulation among those top 50 or 100 or 200 whales, this is not a platform where people should be looking to make money at this point.
I think that's pretty fair. It's not easy to make big flips at this moment in time. Last week we had 2,675 buyers, down 10%, 4,239 sellers, down 4%.
I mean, it's twice as many sellers as buyers. It's not a very healthy.
By the way, have you ever figured that out? How are sellers calculated? Because buyers, that's obviously like an active thing that you're doing. You're buying off the platform. What is a seller? Sellers are people that are obviously, is that someone who's listing something for the first time or listing something that for that week? Have you ever thought about that?
I would assume a seller is somebody who sold something.
Exactly. But is that like someone who listed? Shouldn't the buyers and the sellers be equal then? Is my brain not working? Because how are there more sellers
there
than
could be
buyers?
10 sellers who sell to 2 buyers, right? Like there's very few people who are doing accumulation at scale on this platform. So if you have 10 whales, right? Like there's dozens of whales that in this moment in time, publicly, not so publicly, liquidating everything they have. They're not buying anything. They're selling everything they've got. Now there are some buyers, right? Let's say there's one buyer who's buying 10 things, but each of them is from a different seller. One seller, 10 buyers. Or on the flip side, 10 sellers all selling to one buyer, right? Which is, I think, what's happening now. There's way more sellers than buyers. It's the same schmucks who are buying from a broad swath of sellers because more people are looking to get out, especially in advance of the massive unlock that's happening, versus the few lunatics, hardcore collectors, desperate bag holders, hardcore gamblers, whatever they are, who are in accumulation mode.
Right. So I think this is kind of what I was getting at, which Steve is also addressing. A seller is just an account that's sold. That seller could have posted the listing 6 months ago. Doesn't mean that seller was active or posting this week when it sells. Right.
It just means that it sold this week.
Right.
Yeah.
But you are still, I mean, you made like a relatively large purchase not that long ago. You bought the LeBron anthology moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I have loss aversion. I feel like I've dumped so much money into this platform that I'd rather ride it to the very end, watch the whole thing burn down if that's what's going to take place, rather than put all my chips to the middle of the table and cash out for a relative minimal amount compared to what I invested. It makes no monetary sense for me. The amount of money that I can get back now versus what I put into it, it's like, to what end? Like, so I could go on a nice vacation? Yeah, buying to the bitter end, and hope that the bitter end doesn't happen. I'm a big believer in the blockchain. By the way, I'm a big believer in the validity and the value proposition of some sorts of digital collectibles. We talked about this years ago when you and I first maybe did our first show together. Like, when I was a kid, I collected stuff like a lot of other kids, and then you grow older, you move around. You have kids, you have family, you have pets. You want less stuff. The more stuff you have, the more burdensome it is. But that doesn't mean that you as an adult have lost that sense of childish wonder or that sense of wanting to be emotionally connected to things that you care about. I fucking love basketball. Like, basketball has been a massive part of my life since as far back as I could remember. So like, I want to have some stuff. I just don't want to actually have to deal with the stuff. So like, I definitely still am a fan of the rationale behind why this should work. Mm-hmm. What I'm not a fan of, like most people, is how the company that has created this thing has operated. I think, they have caused themselves and the platform more problems, more damage than any kind of macro market, any kind of, inflation, any kind of dips in the economy. I just think it was their decision-making that caused a lot of the massive decline that we've seen on the platform. But then theoretically, if it wasn't for such horrible decision-making, then the platform might be way better off today than it is. We'd have way more users than we do. The market would be healthier than it is if they operated differently, which then means if somehow they operate differently moving forward, or if there's an acquisition or some other way of somebody else coming in and taking control of this platform, then again, in theory, I hold out hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Will it happen? Who the hell knows? I'm probably going to ride it out till the end. Because again, for me at least, it doesn't make sense for me to cash out because the money I get back is so minuscule compared to what I put into it. What's the point?
Wouldn't you argue that, or I think I would argue that that a lot of the decisions lately, though, have been like in the right direction. Like, first and foremost with those burn boards, I'd say, lower circulation and such. Would you disagree with that? You still think that like big errors or mistakes are being made as of right now?
Errors and mistakes. I don't know. I mean, I think, the funny thing is, aside from supply, a lot of their errors and mistakes came from communication more than anything else. They've basically stopped communicating, which I think has been a net positive, right? Like, a lot of the frustration, a lot of the issues that the community has long had with the platform and those running it were that they would say things and it wouldn't come to fruition. I mean, just recently, them posting about their affiliation with Top Shot or NBA Con or whatever they're calling it. People are bringing up, you said there was going to be a Top Shot convention and everybody should be all excited about it and the NLL will have a big presence there. So I think that has been long a source of the problems with the platform, is just manipulation and misleading and lies and innuendo and things that didn't come to fruition. And I think they've cleared a lot of that up basically by not talking. I think the burn leaderboards, I think, trialing new ways of distribution, I think a lot of those things have been positive. But
so we got a sponsored comment. Can we get a guess with some actual knowledge?
yeah, this guy's a fucking loser. You're a fucking loser, Boston based. I vividly remember you out on Twitter. All you used to do was trash the former general manager. Doesn't even matter. Anyway, keep going, Tandy.
All right, keep it going. Keep it moving. Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we talk a little bit of NBA? The NBA finals just wrapped up. What'd you think about that finals? Did you watch it the whole finals? Did you what are your main takeaways after the Nuggets put away the Heat 4-1?
I mean, it went exactly how we all knew it would go. The Heat were an awesome story, but they're just overmatched. Denver has snipers. Denver has guys that could put the ball in the hole, and they've got one of the most unique players any of us has ever seen in our lives. Who do you compare Jokic to? Like, who's his comp? Like, who has ever done what he does as a center, who can lead the league in assists, who can shoot when he wants to? I wouldn't say Caleb Martin's better than Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum, for sure. It went exactly how we thought it would. Like, Jimmy Butler is a gritty, wonderful basketball player. He's not a number one on an NBA finals winning team. Nobody ever thought he was. He was playing out of his mind, as he often does. He's got courage and heart, and they've got a bunch of bench players who can do good things, but they were just severely overmatched. So it went exactly as I think we all thought it would. It was fun, but that's how it was going to go.
So you, as not a fan of either team, were you rooting for the Heat?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you root for the underdog as long as you don't hate the underdog. So yes, I was definitely rooting for the Heat, but I was under no illusion that the Heat could actually win.
Mm-hmm. Under normal circumstances, I would also be rooting for the Heat, but they beat the Celtics. So
they really did, didn't they?
They really did. Down with the Heat.
And that's part of the reason that I was rooting for them, because as you well know, I hate the Celtics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least the Nets' future is looking really bright right now.
No, the Nets' future never actually looks really bright, even when it kind of does for a minute. No, they're an absolute clusterfuck, and they've got Michael Bridges, who thinks he's a number one, and he's also not a number one. So
has a fan base ever been rugged that hard? Like the Nets, they looked like your fan base must have really thought you had a chance at an NBA title when you saw like three superstars all come together.
100%. My fan base thought we had a chance at a title when we got Garnett and Pierce.
Of course.
Right? With like Brooke Lopez and those young guys. Like, we thought we had a championship then. But no, we didn't. And no, we didn't with Kyrie and Durant. I mean, Kyrie, Durant, and Harden, like three of the best players in the league. That was insane.
Yeah, I remember. As a Celtics fan, I was all sad that when we saw that footage of him talking to Durant in the hallway at the All-Star game, and like, oh no, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
And look how that turned out.
Total
very
mess.
Good.
But total mess. What else are we talking about?
Well, I thought it was pretty silly how people were piling on Jokic for being like, this is just my job. Like, people are getting all emotional about it. But then, I don't know if you saw it, but today he did the parade. And of course, he was like, this is the best thing I've ever been a part of in my entire life. But I don't know. I found that whole thing kind of funny. Of course, last week was the whole Zion Williamson and Mariah Mills Twitter scandal, which of course was endless entertainment. Do you have any safe for work thoughts on that?
On Zion?
Yeah, on that whole situation.
I mean, have you ever seen an ass bigger than
so I guess not
that
safe
woman?
For work.
Like I think that the first question is why even bother with that stuff? But no, who cares? Like, these are young, multi-millionaire athletes. They should fuck whoever, whatever they want. And I don't really care. I just don't care.
Yeah. Okay. I personally love drama. I love I eat that stuff up.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, but you just got to deal with the consequences. If you stick it in the wrong place and the wrong thing happens, then you got to deal with the consequences, like we all do growing up. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we shouldn't have done, and then we got to deal with it.
It's part of growing up, isn't it?
Part of growing up.
Other news, Summer League, a lot of people are excited to go to the Summer League, and apparently Wembanyama may not play in the Summer League. What do you think
That's
about
the
that?
word. I mean, that's the concern with the dude, right? Like his entire career, they're always going to be very mindful of a guy that size. You know, how do you keep him healthy? So you got to protect your investment. This is a massive investment for San Antonio. If it makes sense to keep him out, I guess he's been playing hard for a while now, right? Like their season, I guess he played a lot. Like he didn't sit. Like he's been playing, so you got to give him credit for that. But there's been so many cautionary tales over the years. You talked about a guy like Zion, Greg Oden, like the Chet Holmgren. Like there's lots of big guys with unique bodies who can't stay on the court, and that's a problem. And you want the kid to be healthy, so if that means you got to sit him for summer league, who cares? Summer league doesn't even count.
Yeah, he needs to take some of that steroids that Giannis took, the HGH and steroids that Giannis took to go from.
And LeBron,
and LeBron.
Yeah, no, I'm all for athletes taking all the drugs that they can get their hands on, going overseas, getting those blood transfusions, whatever you got to do to stay healthy, do it, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the modern version of like gladiators in the.
Yeah.
As long as the children don't get word of it, then why not? That's
Who
what they
cares
do in
if
the
children then parent well. If you don't want your kids to do things that they find out about, then just be a better parent. You can't protect everybody from themselves. At some point, like man up, take responsibility.
I don't know though. Kids do dumb shit, and especially when they think they're smarter than their parents. So like a 16-year-old gets word that Wembanyama's on the juice, and that's why he's all big now, and then they decide to start injecting themselves. That's the problem in my mind.
So be it.
Yeah. Forget not financial. Yeah. Nothing you hear on this show should be considered medical advice.
Certainly not.
The opening 2024 NBA title odds came out. Who do you believe should be the favorite? And I'll tell you who is the favorite.
I did not see that. Who do I believe should be the favorite? Oh man. I'm assuming it's not going to be Denver. I'm assuming it's not going to be Phoenix. I don't see. Yeah, it's probably going to be Milwaukee. Is it Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, you're close, but you're wrong. The favorite is the Nuggets.
Is it? Okay.
Yep. The Bucks are on number 3. So Nuggets plus 500, Bucks plus 600. Who would make number 2 then, would you think?
Not Golden State. Is it Golden State? Can't be Golden State.
It's not Golden State.
Who would be number 2? It's obviously not Miami. Well, it might be Miami if they get Lillard. I don't know. I would
put Miami at number 2, most likely to go back to win
the NBA
Lillard title.
If
they don't have Lillard, you got to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, if they don't know, then no. Who would be number 2? It's not Memphis, obviously. Not Phoenix. I don't know. Who am I missing?
The Celtics, you silly goose.
Why?
You don't think the Celtics are the second best team?
Hell no.
You like the Bucks over them? You like
the Celtics got murdered by Miami.
It's okay.
Come on, man.
Miami shot like 15% higher than they did all year. You do that, you're going to beat teams.
And why would that be?
Because the Celtics defense was dog shit.
Yeah.
But
whatever. I think the Celtics are going to lose Jaylen Brown. I think he's coming to my adopted team here in Atlanta. And that's that. Celtics have been overrated, Stan. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, of course. In the finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Doesn't sound like an overrated team to me, but go ahead.
Yeah, to each his own.
Yeah. The Warriors, you asked, they're 12-1. They're actually tied with the Mavericks, which is kind of a surprise, and the Lakers. Warriors, Mavericks, Lakers.
Warriors and Lakers? That's weird.
Suns plus 850, so they're right behind the Bucks. After that, after Mavericks, Warriors, Lakers, it's the Clippers and the 76ers. After them, it's the Grizzlies and the Heat. So talk about disrespect to an NBA Finals team. The Heat are on the same plateau as the Grizzlies, a 20-1 NBA Finals championship odds. So
it goes to show you how much parity there is in the league right now, right? Like there were for a while there, like these big super teams that like nobody could compete with. But I think there's a tremendous amount of parity in the NBA right now.
There definitely is a lot of parity right now. Boston Base wants to wager with you, by the way. About
a friendly wager with somebody that you don't like. and I don't like
it's an unfriendly wager then. The Cavs at plus 25, the Kings 30, Pelicans 35, Knicks 40, T-Wolves, Hawks, and Thunder. So there's your hometown Hawks, 66-1.
They got the Hawks with the Thunder?
Yep. Hawks, Thunder, and T-Wolves. Thunder could be a surprise pick. I mean, there's probably 100%. They're still too young.
Yeah, you never know. They're crazy talented.
Then you're not going to like this. The Nets are on the same plateau as the Rockets. The Nets, the Rockets, and the Blazers, 100-1.
Nets are a joke.
The Bulls, 125-1. Jazz, Magic, Wizards, Pacers, 150-1. Yeah. Spurs, 200-1.
Yeah.
And the Hornets and the Pistons in the last place scenario, 500-1 odds.
Wow. Yeah, that about makes sense. Yeah.
So there you go.
Talk.
Good talk.
Good talk. Hey, how's parenting going? How's the kid?
The kid's great.
Yeah.
Parenting is great. I mean, it's the highs and the lows. That's what I always tell people.
Hey, did you ever meet up with Ben when he was out there?
When he was in Mexico?
Well,
no,
didn't he message you and you said you were nearby wherever he was, or was that just sarcasm?
Well, that's the sarcasm. That's the joke. It's that he likes to think I live in Mexico.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's placing.
No, he's a sweet little boy. You just pat his head and let him.
He's simple-minded. I got excited. I thought you guys were going to actually connect, but I guess
we didn't collect. We didn't connect, but maybe
no collecting or connecting.
No, neither one.
Any banjo playing?
I do have a guitar. One day I'll definitely have to do a really serious impression, or I'll take over.
Where would this platform be right now without Treaticus? I mean, I know a lot of people mock him, and
a lot of people love him though. That's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people actually. He's a great dude. First when he came on the scene, I think I was one of the first people that caught on to it and reached out to him. I was like, bro, keep doing you, man. You're fantastic. But seriously, I think he's built this great community of people who, through thick and thin, they're in this together. They found their cohort of people that they feel comfortable with. I think he's been a godsend for the platform, honestly.
Well, it's hard to disagree with you, actually. I mean, Floaty sponsored him right away. Floaty was like, we want you working for us.
Yeah.
So whatever he's doing is obviously it's working. I mean, I like watching his ridiculous videos. They give me joy.
Yeah, they give me something. I like him more than his videos. Is that okay to say?
That's okay to say.
Yeah, I like him a lot as a human. I think he's a great person.
Yeah, when he was on the show, that was a great episode. If you haven't watched it, you definitely should.
Yeah, I missed that one somehow.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah.
Wait, no, I didn't miss it. He had a horrible internet reception.
Correct. Yeah, that was a fun time.
Hey, Stan, we all do it, right? Like in this echo chamber that we all live in, whenever somebody disagrees with us, a lot of us oftentimes we get very defensive. We think our ideas and our thoughts are the only valid ones. And I know he's done that a few times, but we've all done it. You gotta, give him a little slack.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. What else do we have to talk about? I mean, we can talk about Hustle and Show. It's going to be 15 trade tickets. Are you going to trade in your trade tickets for Hustle and Show packs?
I am, because I have way too many trade tickets, and I don't want them anymore. I've gotten to a point in my collection where I just have so much shit I don't even know what most of it is anymore. So I'd rather trade shit that I don't want for shit that I want tiny bit more than the other shit. I mean, that's kind of what it is. But yeah, I guess if you look at the numbers, you're better off having something at 2,500 circulation than 8,000 circulation. So yeah, that's the plan. I did trade in a bunch of shit. I think I have 300 trade tickets right now, which is actually kind of sad. For a while there, didn't we do 500 trade tickets for a Series 1 pack, those reserve packs?
Yeah. I don't remember if it was 500. I thought it was Was it 350 or was that the new number?
350 or 500? Okay, it might have been 350. It might have been 500. Either way, to do 15 for a more or less worthless pack of other garbage versus maybe 20 times that for, at the time, you could get massive wins, massive Series 1 grails. The numbers there don't seem to make that much sense to me. But it's another experimentation. Let's see if people will trade in their shit for slightly better shit, and that's how we can get this kind of product into market without charging people for it, because otherwise people don't really want to pay for packs that have largely just trade tickets in them. And even like a 2,500 supply moment in this current market, it's a trade ticket, right? Like they have no value. There's fewer than 2,500 collectors on the platform. Do we really need moments at 2,500 circulation? No. So that's what this is. It's trading in literally worthless shit for slightly less worthless shit and still keeping the brand going. And yeah, I guess it's a gambling lottery, as we kind of talked about early. It's all gamble. Yes, you're gambling that you're going to be the one person that pulls the LeBron legendary from the pack. And we all know it's going to NBL because that's just how the randomizer works. Just kidding, Mike. Sort of.
I don't know. Maybe this is going to be your lucky day, Jay. Maybe you're going to be the one that gets it.
Yeah, no, the thing about the randomizer is, this is just a hunch. After the algorithm picks the winner, it then goes onto like a desk, and somebody sits at that desk and they look at it and they're like, don't really like that name. Hey, randomizer, give me another name. So I think, I don't know, a little birdie told me that's kind of the format that they currently use. So we'll see.
A birdie told you that? There's no way you have someone on the inside telling you, no,
not like somebody on the inside. Not somebody, a bird. What are you talking about the inside?
Like a literal bird.
An actual fucking bird. Yes.
So that sounds about right.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I don't know. Hustle and show. You're right, though. I never thought about it that way, where you could be trading in like 60K circulation stuff, and at least you get stuff with a lower circulation. So if and when we continue trending into the right direction, then obviously you're going to want the stuff that's lower circulation than higher circulation.
Yeah. Show your face. I want to see your face, Boston based. I want to see the face of the ultimate troll in the Top Shot ecosystem.
I think he's mostly a Jay troll.
Well, no, he used to be a Jane troll. So maybe he just trolls people that start with a J.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. He trolls you, and then the N and the E at the end, he trolled Janie for that reason.
Relentlessly. Such a nice lady. She didn't deserve most of that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Was it sexism? I don't know.
I don't know.
It is what it is. What else we got?
I'm taking a look here. I mean, we could do a little market check if we want to look at how the rookies are doing, the Top Shot 50 are doing. That's always kind of interesting just to see.
Let's do a market check. I've not looked at the market recently.
All right, let's go see how our Top Shot 50 and our rookies are doing. So I'll load that up. You can take some comments, Jay, while I load that up.
Okay. Do we have any good comments? What does Money Williams mean?
We're just going to have trolls.
I don't know.
Money Williams, because Monty Williams went to the Pistons and he's making a lot of money.
Okay. How much is he making? I didn't catch that.
He's making like a lot of money. I forget how much, but it's a lot. All right. So it looks like Paolo Banchero continues to go up in value. I think we looked at him 2 weeks ago and he was less than he is today. So
what happens next season? Because I don't think, would you agree with me? I don't see Paolo as a stud. I think he's a decent player, but people are buying it for the game, right? It's for the leaderboard. You accumulate enough TSS for Paolo, you finish high enough on the legendary or on the rookie leaderboard. You get the free legendary, and then you get the free rare for him being a rookie first team selection. Yeah, but that's why most people buy, right? Like that, again, as we keep saying, like this is a platform for the most part rooted in gamification and gambling. People are not buying because they love Paolo, except for Andrew and maybe a couple of other people. They're buying because they want the free reward. And then inevitably there will be a letdown because fewer people will want to buy the reward than you thought in the first place. And it's like, why did I accumulate all these Paolos that now I have nothing else to do with and I don't even want to keep long-term? And I just did it for the reward, but we're all degenerate gamblers, and that's what we do on this platform. I would love to better understand the difference between people who are buying for the gamble and for the game versus people who buy this stuff based on actually wanting to collect it and keep it.
I wonder how many of these you would need, because I'm seeing here there's some single buyers. I thought I might see multiple buyers of people who want to make sure they get one.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's only, what is there, 75 rookie revelation, or is it 90?
Yeah, that's true. There's not a whole lot of them. There's only 75.
There's only 75, and the top 50 lockers will win the legendary. So in theory, you have to assume at least some of these people have more than one legendary. Some of these people probably accumulated a bunch of the rares. So only 50 people will win the prize. And I think they said that they're going to give us a 48-hour notice before the reward snapshot is taken. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on that. So I have to assume like lots of people just haven't locked their shit yet. But yeah, it doesn't take much, right? Like if there's only 75 of these things and the top 50 are going to win, if 10 people own more than one, it kind of keeps it open for anybody who owns one of those Legos to have a chance at top 50 on his leaderboard, and then they'll get a free legendary.
Sure, but some of these other ones I think are being collected because people want them, right? I mean, like Anthony Edwards. Is there like people aren't going to win a legendary or whatever Anthony Edwards for that, for like in the same way as Paolo Banchero, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's nice to see. I mean, a lot of these actually
that's a challenge
are above.
Reward. There's only
there's only 50 of those, but like
yeah.
you know, I guess Jalen Williams also falls in the same camp. Challenge reward.
Leaderboard.
But even so, even though they're challenge rewards, if people are still buying them up and it's going
over, I mean, if the pack was $500 and you get a Steph and it's 630, or a Luka is 630, or an Embiid 600. I mean, they're a little bit more than the price of the pack. You also got a rare in those packs and some trade tickets.
Right.
That's fine. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally, if this is going to work like physical cards, then you want to be able to look forward to potential big hits. I think you're always going to need something like that. And I guess like LeBron, you'd almost triple your money, for example. Yeah. Or Paolo, obviously, that's a big win. So Paolo's that's good.
A huge one.
That's good.
Paolo was a huge win. I think, did Cam still not open his pack?
I think Cam doesn't open any packs.
Yeah, but the thing is, when the leaderboard snapshot is done, if that motherfucker has a Paolo in there, and then he keeps it, and he doesn't sell into the pump, and then next year he opens it, that's just going to be worth half, right? Maybe less than half. I don't know. I'm just saying, Cam.
All depends, right? I don't know.
I'm just saying, Cam.
Is there any way actually to see how many of those are still? Let's go see how many are still in pack so we can try to decide if one is in Cam's pack or not.
Right.
Let's see. There are 5 in packs.
One of them is in Cam's pack. I'm saying.
Could be. I mean, there's 5 of those in packs. Now let's see a key. Oh, that's a challenge reward. Never mind. Let's see. Jalen. Let's see how many of those are in packs. 4 in packs. So
he probably has one of those too.
The math checks out. It's gonna be a Paolo. Checks out. All right, let's see what else. Let me catch up here. Alexa's asking for playback. Yeah, I know. It's
he
so
wants
late
you
here.
to do your show on playback.
Yeah, playback. So for those who don't know what playback is, and I don't know why Poker Pro Eric is saying he doesn't know it. I'm pretty sure he was on one of those before, but you were on it too. You know what playback is. It's just a different streaming thing.
Just different, and that's where people like watch basketball games together, right?
Exactly. But in the beginning, they really wanted people to go and use it. So they were making it like they were giving you a good reason to go stream there.
What was
throwing
the
you
reason?
a few bucks.
Okay.
Some money.
Gotcha.
So I hustled pretty hard, and then they adjusted pretty hard.
Okay. And you don't like when they adjust hard.
Exactly, Jay. I don't like that. I like when the finances
slow and steady.
Well, predictable, I would say.
Predictable. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
predictable.
Sense.
Or better, but when it's a big drop off, it's not as fun.
I think Stan, final Lego 500. I think I agree. I think yes, people with airdrops will sell 100%, and they will undercut each other. You have to assume that the number of people who actually want to complete this set is probably barely double digits, right? Like, who wants to own this finals legendary set? 25 people, max 30 people. Then you have to assume if you're not the person who sells to one of those 30 people, then you're kind of left holding the bag. And 4 months from now, 6 months from now, who's going to want a random Aaron Gordon legendary from this year's finals? It's just, I don't think the economics are there. Again, like unless you're a collector, like that's the thing. Like some people actually want to collect this shit. They're not looking at the numbers and saying, can I get a good return on my investment? Like they actually want to own this shit, either because they have an emotional attachment to the team or they love the product, or I guess in some people's cases, like myself, there's this hope that there's going to be financial incentive down the line. 50 completions. There's going to be more than 50 completions for a set that has 75 count per moment. I mean, would that be the most completed set statistically in history? More than 50 out of 75 total possibilities? That I'd be surprised. They're fewer than 50 completions on most of the MGLE.
These are challenge rewards, right? So if
how
we're
many
not
of these
talking
were
about,
there?
so there's 50, but that's not everything. That's not every moment in the
Right.
set.
That's a subsection of them.
Right. So I don't know how many of these had, like, I guess we
Jabari
could look
had
at last year's.
45.
If we look at last year's, right, that would show us, I think. Go to last year's one.
Well, last year we had way more users, don't forget.
Oh shit. Okay, that's true. But let's just take
I'd
a
be
look.
Curious, yeah.
Whoops, finals.
And did you have to have all of them last year? Weren't there 2 rewards last year?
No. It was just Jordan Poole, and it was 40. And it was
40.
But these were also numbered to 75.
Yeah. And this was a much more popular finals, much more popular teams, sexier players, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Tatum. But yeah, who knows? Yeah, listen, if there's more than 50, fantastic. I'd be surprised, but who cares?
Yeah, Marcus Smart still going for 740.
Yeah.
I wonder if people are buying that lately. I would guess not. But let's just take a look.
I doubt it.
Well, someone bought it on May 12th. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, what else we got here? Clappy McCheeks, by the way. I saw him on the other when we were looking at the Paolo. He was also Clappy McCheeks is doing a lot of buying and selling.
Can we invite Boston Based on now? Is that possible? Can we do a 3-person panel?
Does he want to come on?
Probably. He's got a bunch of great stuff to say.
Alexa's the best guest, though.
I would tend to agree. His internet tends to suck, but I've always loved listening to Alex.
Yeah, he's a good guest. Well, folks, what else you got here? It's
any other topics you want us to talk about?
Yeah, it's getting a little late for the Tandy Man, so let's give
we're both relatively low energy today. Is that fair to say?
I am tired. I can feel my eyes burning at this point. But let's see if you guys got anything else. Let's see if I could find the question and answers drop, and then we can ask Jay.
Let's talk about the NLL. You saw that they launched some merch today.
They did.
Yeah, just before I came on the show, I got an email. I get a $100 discount, but the thing is, there's no free shipping, so that means I have to pay like $9 to get an NLL shirt. Anybody here want my code? I will give it to you for way less than the $100 it's worth on the platform. Hit my DMs.
There you go.
So here we go. You want a $100 code for an NLL sweatshirt?
There you go. Poker Pro wants it, but we forgot to use this before, so we're talking about the NLL. It deserves the drop, so here we go. By the way, I don't know what this is about. Top Shot had only 500 codes for Top Shot Con. I don't know what that means. Do you?
No. Weisberg, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Green Curry says, should have sold my Heat redemptions. You were right, Tandy. Of course I was right. Green Curry had hope that the Heat were going to pull it around, and he was.
Well, that's the gamble, right? Again, like this is a gambling platform.
Yeah.
The smart gamble would be buy the Heat, because nobody in their right mind thinks the Heat are going to beat the Nuggets, and then if they win, you get a huge return on your investment. That's what people do here.
But I think you gotta do some math. You gotta work out what percentage chance you think they have of winning and what that would be worth if they did win, and then do the math that way.
Yeah.
So let's see. Anything else in here? Boston Base says it's $4 shipping, not $9.
I already looked. Maybe that's wherever Boston Base lives, whoever basement he lives in, based on his address. Where I live, it's 7 and change.
All right. Boston Bay says the real problem is the fact that they waited until a few weeks before NBA Con to make the promo. Well, I don't even know what promo codes are we talking about. Are these like tickets to go to NBA Con that Top Shot's giving out?
I saw something about that. Maybe via email or Discord or something. I think. Congratulations, Boston Based. I'm sure it's a very big, beautiful one. Man, some of these people in this community. You ever wonder how the fuck we found ourselves here, Tandy? No, I think if you sign up for NBA Con through NBA Top Shot, you got like a 20% discount on the cost of the convention.
Oh,
Something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
Thanks, John. Yeah, but I went to the NBA convention a couple years ago at All Star, right? Yeah, they had like an NBA convention at All Star Weekend with a lot of the same kind of perks that apparently are going to be at this NBA convention. So I don't know what the difference is between this NBA con and the convention they seem to run every year at All Star Weekend. I guess it's just a different time of year. But panels and games and freebies and booths and convention floor, they do that every year at All Star. So I don't know.
Are you planning on going to the convention?
50-50. I was planning on going. We got some family stuff going on, so I have to see if I can balance it. I love going to Vegas. So we'll see. I'm going to try. Yeah.
Okay.
Not for Top Shot. If I end up going, it's not for Top Shot. I've gone to things before that were Top Shot related for Top Shot because I was, I want to do this. But I don't really care anymore.
You've gone to a lot of Top Shot related events, haven't you?
I mean, have there been a lot of events? I was out in Vegas.
Well, I'm including like going to games as part of the Discord.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I went to so many games last year. I'll buy your NLL code. Top Shot, Hot Shot.
Someone wants to buy it already. There you go.
Just give me an offer right here. Let's do it live. I want $40 for it. Give me your counter offer. We'll do it right here on the show. It'll be amazing. Yes, I'm sure, Jules. I did that one time, actually. It was way higher than that. It did not last very long. I went to a bunch of games last year. It's fun. Met some people, had some fun. $30. It's yours. Done. Enjoy your fucking hoodie. I like that. I think, using, but they did it wrong, right? Like, I think you should be rewarded based on your fandom, based on collecting habits, based on what you purchase, what you own, actual doing things. I think for the most part, the stuff I won last year was because I clicked emoji buttons in Discord that a tiny percentage of the user base actually participated in. I don't know. To me, that shouldn't be how these things are rewarded. And honestly, here in Atlanta, shout out to Eric and he did his best running that thing, but it would be, he'd say, I have tickets for tomorrow's game. Who wants them? And 4 people raised their hands in the Discord or came on to playback or whatever and said, yeah, I can go to the game tomorrow. And then 2 of the people would win because that's it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's worth the price for Top Shot, for Dapper, or for the each.
Oh, by the way, it looks like you got a counter offer.
Okay. Well,
Poker Pro wants to pay 40. Now it's going to be a bidding war.
We got a bidding war, Top Shot, Hot Shot. I don't know what to tell you. No, you didn't interrupt the show. This is way more entertaining than the shit Tandy and I are talking about. How would you reward the bandwagoner? I don't know. It's so distracting trying to understand all these different conversations happening. I love the idea of being rewarded for collecting, being rewarded for your fandom. But I just think there has to be better ways. I think it should be, I don't think it should be on Discord, right? I've been vocal about this in the past. So few people actually engage with these things on Discord. I think it should be a native experience on the platform. Similarly, I loved all the flash challenges that team captains run throughout the year, but it's all disjointed. It's all off the platform. It's all via Discord or via Twitter. Make it all a native experience on the platform. I think that could be one of the most important improvements that Dapper could make, is just allow these experiences to be offered up through the native platform, as opposed to these kind of piecemeal things that happen on the side that most people don't even know about. I think, that would be a recommendation, because I want people to win. I want to go to games, but if there's only 4 people that raise their hand for games, and you're almost guaranteed to win because you're one of the 4 degenerates that hangs around in the Discord, to what end? What value is that? That doesn't seem to be growing the platform, growing the product, or even rewarding most collectors. So yeah.
Well, I imagine also that now that we're using the app, for example, I imagine that we're going to get more and more centralized with where we get our information, ideally, but I just don't know how we're going to completely replace what happens on Discord inside of an app, but hopefully we get there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well,
Denver
Alexa has
Group
2 tickets for Friday, whatever that is for.
For Friday?
if you
I
guys
think the
want.
season's over. What's on Friday, Alex?
I think it's like a beer garden ticket that you pay to go and sit in the garden over there.
Is it a sloppy steak barbecue by chance?
I think it is. I think it
That would be
is.
dope. Denver Top Shot Group gets drunk on Dapper's dime once a week in classiest style. I mean, honestly, like most communities did that last year, right? Like very few people would go to bars and the team captain would buy drinks for everybody and give out free moments, hundreds, thousands of dollars, and call it a day. And there'd be like a dozen people there. I know. I remember Mike went to a few of those in Atlanta, right? It just so happened like the two things that happened in Atlanta, I was out of town both times, so I couldn't enjoy them. But like he was on video and he'd like pan to like the bar that they spent thousands of dollars to buy people free food and free drink and have giveaways and autographed jerseys and shit. And there'd be like 9 people there. So I think the captain's program is a good idea. Investing in the community is a good idea. There just has to be a more palatable way to get more people involved and engaged and benefiting from it.
Sure. Green Curry wants to know what's up with Roham. Do you know anything about that, Jay?
I've heard a couple things, and word is it's launching tomorrow. So keep your eyes open.
Okay. Bleezy's coming right at the end here. Hello, Bleezy. All right. Well, I think that's all I got, Jay. Unless there's anything else you want to say. You want to shout out anything? Want to give any last words?
Last words. I guess here's what I'll say.
Yeah, I'll give you the floor. Jay's going to get the floor. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, that was not necessary. I think I appreciate everybody tuning in today. It's been a wonderful experience with my friend Simon, as always. It's wonderful to engage the community through such a reputable platform. I'm grateful that you guys are still here, that we're still here, that we're still egging these people on to give us the experience that we crave. And fingers crossed that we continue to go up from here.
All right. Very beautifully said. Louis here also right at the end. Hello, Louis. You're going to have to hit the rewind button. And Pack Drip wants you to pump Roham. Pack Drip, keep that to yourself. Anyway, thank you all for
pumped Roham for the last 2.5 years. He's doing good.
Thank you all for being here. Enjoy your 9 Lives Lounge shirts and hoodies, and also your Top Shot shirt if you have one.
Poker Pro Air.
All right, go ahead, Jay. You're talking about Poker Pro Air.
Top Shot, Hot Shot. You guys figure it out. Who wants the $100 credit? You know where to find me.
Yeah, there you go. Go create your Twitter chat and get the bids going crazy.
This was not a good episode.
I would not. If this was good.
I would not recommend it. No, but two very low energy Jewish men doing their best. But you're not. Are you a Jew, Tandy?
I am a Jew,
right? Yeah. Two low energy Jewish men doing their best, but really not much to be all that excited about. But we did our best for you.
You know what I like to do? I like to listen to podcasts at like 1.5, 1.2 speed. I think 100%. I'd recommend doing that, Bleezy. But all right. 100%. Thank you, Jay. Go enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for being here, chat. And we'll talk again soon.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Static Selector.